Hey, Mean Matt here. So, WrestleMania is coming up pretty soon. WWE is down with the network, and Hulk Hogan is back. Not sure how to feel about that. It's good to see that he's back, back home, I should say. Um, I would hope that he doesn't wrestle. That's just my thing. I'm not big on people coming back and wrestling full time, and when I do believe in they should just let the new generation wrestle. Maybe he won't wrestle. He's just back, and he's gonna host WrestleMania, and that's it. Um, but I was gonna do another WrestleMania review at some point. I wanted to do that. I just YouTube has some problems with letting me download my videos for some reason. So I hope this works. But I'm gonna do WrestleMania 23 because it was one of those WrestleManias that made me, interesting to see if what would have happened if things were different. But for some reason, they didn't go with whatever I thought my idea of what should have happened at WrestleMania 23, and I'll get to that in a moment. So it started off with Mr. Kennedy, CM Punk, Randy Orton, Finlay, the Hardy Boys, and King Booker and Edge in the first ever Money in the Bank match. And of course, Ken Kennedy won. And what pisses me off about that is that Ken Kennedy Ken Anderson, I should say, should have had a run. Should have had a chance to be WWE or world champion at some point. But it's obvious that they went with Edge, and so yeah, it's kind of interesting how that worked out. But then, of course, he eventually went to TNA. Jeff Hardy eventually went back to TNA. So it was a good match, but unfortunately, it didn't really go anywhere. Edge eventually became champion, so there it is. Then we had Great Khali versus Kane, and Great Khali beat Kane. Not much to say about this match. Both giants. Well, Great Khali is more of a giant. It's an interesting thing to see these guys go at it, and because there was one thing to see Undertaker versus Khali, like Kane versus Khali, but we did know that Kane would eventually get beaten by Great Khali. Then we had Chris Benoit versus MVP for the United States. Oh wait, no, this was a. Well, fuck it, I don't know. I can't think if this was. It was the best of the three. I don't know if they fought for the U.S. Championship, but whatever. Yeah, MVP actually did an interview, and he said that despite everything that went down with Chris Benoit, he still thinks that Chris Benoit was his inspiration for the technical wrestling and all that other stuff. And it is unfortunate to know what happened in the end in 2007. Because I honestly did think myself, as did everybody, that Chris Benoit was one of the greatest technical wrestlers. And then you hear what happened, and then you think, well, that's not something that's really awesome. I guess there's no other way of putting it. Um, but it does happen, unfortunately. I'd be surprised to see how many people are still fans of these football guys who also murdered and did all this stuff that's illegal, like Michael Vick and dog fighting. Not that I'm excusing anything that Chris Benoit did, but there's a lot of people who would much rather crucify him than these other guys that broke the law. But who knows? Then we had the World Championship match, Batista versus Undertaker. Undertaker obviously won. Good feud. This was the year, I believe this was the year that Undertaker won. Yeah, I think this is the year Undertaker won the Royal Rumble. So this was a good match. Batista's back, and I'm not really sure if... I know a lot of people don't care that he's going to be in the main event at WrestleMania. I just wish that Randy Orton didn't have to be in the main event at WrestleMania, and maybe Cesaro won the match, but I guess it wasn't his time yet. So who knows where this is going to go. It's just that people don't like Batista anymore, and I don't know why. I mean, maybe I know why, but if this is a heels versus heels match, I don't know how well this is going to go. And especially because this is the first year that it's only going to be one heavyweight title. So, anyways, this match was pretty good. It was a very entertaining match. Then we had an ECW original versus the New Breed. It was ECW original Rob Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, and the Sandman versus Elijah Burke, Marcus Corvon, Matt Striker, and Kevin Thorne. Again, I've said this many times before. I thought that Vince McMahon taking over ECW wasn't a very good idea. I thought maybe he should have taken WCW. He did take Great American Bash, don't get me wrong, but and I actually just found out that I didn't think about this either, but Elimination Chamber is a lot like the War Games. So in a sense, he did kind of take the WCW thing, but he took ECW and he fucked it up in the way that ECW was the original. It was fucking cool. It had original ideas. You know, it was almost like watching a wrestling program through somebody with a video camera. And our Ring of Honor is kind of like that, but not really. But so I mean, the ECW originals won, obviously. You know, always go with the original. And Bobby Lashley with Donald Trump defeated Umaga with Vince McMahon and Armana, Alexandro Estrada, whatever. And Steve Austin was the referee. Steve Austin wasn't wrestling anymore, but he did take the Samoan Spike a couple times. Yeah, and this was a good match, and even Donald Trump got his share in. And yeah, I had nothing more I can say. You know, Bobby Lashley won, and Vince McMahon got his head shaved. R.I.P. Umaga. Then we went to Melina versus Ashley. I kind of miss Ashley. I don't know what happened to her. She went off the radar faster than Melina. So yeah, I don't know where Ashley is, but of course Melina won. Then I have the WWE Championship match: John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. Now, this is gonna sound kind of interesting and kind of weird, coming from an anti-Shawn Michaels fan. I'm not a Shawn Michaels fan. I never was. Before the Montreal Screwjob, just in case anyone's wondering, I'm not biased. Um, Whatever that means. No, I was just never a Shawn Michaels fan. Okay, so the fact is, I think he should have won a WWE title from John Cena. Um, as one last time in his career, he should have got the WWE Championship. He already got the World Championship. I think he would have deserved the WWE title. However, things happened the way they happened. John Cena tried to be classy and shake his hand. And then, of course, Shawn Michaels showed his true colors and just walked off like a prick. But anyway, good WrestleMania, you know. I hope this year is, you know, not that last year was terrible, although everybody else would disagree. I hope that it's going to be bigger and better, being number 30. Somebody else is going to be 30 in a couple months. Uh, but there you go. Yeah, WrestleMania 23. Interesting pay per view. Okay. Bye.